Thank you, President. My question is to the Minister representing the Minister for Health and Aged Care, Senator Gallagher. Minister, how many vaccines are subject to an indemnity from the Australian Government?
Thank you, Senator Roberts. Minister Gallagher.
Thank you, Senator Roberts. I'll just see if I can provide you with an accurate answer. I do know that there were indemnity arrangements put in place under the former government for the vaccines that were approved then in the early stages of the pandemic, and those indemnity arrangements continue. I think we have traversed this at estimates a bit. I'm not sure if there is anything else I can provide, but indemnity arrangements were put in place for the vaccines that the government procured to enable national vaccine rollout program to be undertaken during the pandemic emergency. And that was an important part of ensuring that we could procure the vaccine in the amount that we needed and provide it to the Australian people. I would also say that whilst the indemnity arrangements were in place, all of the required approvals to ensure the safety of the vaccines prior to the vaccines being rolled through were followed through the TGA processes that we have also traversed at length in estimates. And that I think we also have the COVID-19 vaccine claim scheme, which was also established to run alongside the national rollout of the vaccine program. And I would say that it was an important response to the pandemic to ensure that we could get as many people vaccinated as possible in a safe way, to ensure that we minimise the impact of significant disease and the at the very serious end, and also minimise the deaths that occurred from contracting COVID-19.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Roberts, first supplementary.
Thank you. Indemnities have been issued for 14 different COVID products. Each new COVID vaccine or shot has been given an indemnity, the most recent on 10th of October 2023. Minister, with demand for the booster down to 5.5% for those under 65 and multiple vendors, the argument that indemnities are needed to get stock is a patent nonsense. What is the real reason for these new indemnities issued only 6 weeks ago?
Minister Gallagher.
Thank you. Well, I can't go into the confidential agreements that have been reached with procuring vaccines. These are agreements that are reached between the government and the vaccine provider. And we do so in a way that allows for the rollout of continued vaccination and booster shots to protect people from COVID-19. These are the arrangements that were entered into during the pandemic. Those arrangements are continuing. We think there's a very important public health reason to ensure that we are procuring vaccines and making them available for people to take their booster. And I would say that booster levels remain low, and we do want to see those increase, and that people should particularly go and get their booster if they're ready for one, or if they're 6 months past the last COVID-19 bout.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Roberts, second supplementary.
So, Minister, you won't explain to the taxpayers why you're using their money and putting it at risk. So let's ask a second supplementary. This government has offered Moderna an indemnity for every vaccine or shot manufactured in their new Australian factory currently under construction, including regular, non-pandemic vaccines. Minister, why has your government not been honest in telling taxpayers they are paying for new vaccine harm during the COVID period and for all time?
Thank you, Senator Roberts. Minister Gallagher.
Thank you. Well, I'm not sure what Senator Roberts is referring to and I reject the claim that we are in somehow using taxpayers' money and causing vaccine harm. That is not appropriate, and I absolutely categorically reject that. If there is anything further I can provide Senator Roberts around the arrangements with Moderna, in particular I am happy to arrange that. I don't have that information before me, but I do accept that governments do negotiate agreements with companies around the supply and availability of medicines and vaccines in this instance, to ensure that we are able to provide the medicines Australia needs, and also ensure that we have enough of the vaccines to provide that appropriate coverage, particularly for COVID-19 protection.
Thank you, Minister.